Okay. Um, so anyway, we're at the final six, and I think that there are three players who are kind of in a position where I think they're looked at as being decent players and having a good shot to win. And I feel like that would be myself, Darth, and Jason. I feel like Freddie's also a decent shot to win, depending on how he can do it at Final Tribal Council if he gets there. He certainly has the underdog story going for him, and he's been the backup vote every vote for the whole game, basically, and he somehow has managed to make it this far, and I think he could have a compelling case at the end, and he could certainly convince me to vote for him. And then we have two people who don't have a chance unless they go against each other, which they won't because they're not trying to work together, which makes absolutely no sense. Excuse me. One of them is going to be voted out, and the other is probably going to be a goat that goes to the end, unless things turn around between now and then. So obviously I'm talking about Indiana and Superman. They're both incredibly frustrating players to play this game with, and I'm not sure what it is, and I'm not sure if the disconnect is just with me, or if... Sorry about my cat. Or if the disconnect is in general as far as playing the game. I understand by not having a lot of time to put into the game, and I know that Indy is busy in real life, and he's said that multiple times, and I totally get that because I have been somebody who has definitely struggled from that, and I've had periods of time where I cannot put as much time in the game as I want to, but I do try to make the effort, and I do try to send the messages out, and I don't feel like either of them is doing it. They're both kind of doing things in a different manner, whereas right now Indy is sitting back and coasting because he thinks he's just got this sweet deal to the Final Four and then probably Final Two with Jason, I assume, whereas Superman knows he's in trouble, and so he's finally reaching out and trying to make friends. Both are bad gameplay. I worked with Indy before. I liked him early on in the game. I thought he was a decent message writer. I thought he had potential, and I was wrong because I'm at this point in the game where I'm playing with somebody who has admittedly not put in the effort to keep up a relationship with me, who has admitted that, which I don't understand. Like, if you know that that's a mistake that you're making, then why are you continuing to make it? But he does. And here we are, we're supposedly on the same side. We vote together for this mic vote, and I think that he thinks that us voting together for this mic vote basically just means that, all right, let's go, Final Four, here we are. We're at Final Six. Like, Final Four is still down the road. There's still a lot of game left to be played. It's not as easy as people think it is, and I don't understand. I don't know if he's a new player. I don't know if he just doesn't care. I really don't know. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating that I message him and I don't get anything in response. It's frustrating that he didn't care about me as a player when we merged, but now all of a sudden he's like, all right, well, cool, we were friends earlier, so let's keep being friends. Sorry I didn't keep up a relationship with you for the whole game, but now that we're here and we're voting on the same side, we should be besties. For that to happen, you need to actually send me a message and say something to me, which is something that he's not doing. And if you look at my track record through this whole game, I've had a lot of number one allies, and I've had a lot of close allies, and it is switched fairly regularly. I've obviously been fairly close with Darth since we've merged, and he's definitely my number one in the game. But I've had a lot of other number twos, and before Darth was my number one, I had a million other number ones. So I'm certainly not scared to jump around and have different allies in the game. It's not like I'm boxed into any corner, and I think that should be obvious based on how I voted and how I've moved around this whole game. I've kind of worked a little bit with everybody at some point. So I don't understand why Indy doesn't think it's worth conversing with me prior to this vote, even as a casual conversation, or now that we're supposedly on the same side and going to the Final Four together, he still isn't giving me the time of day. I finally got a message from him this morning. He probably sent it late last night. I went to bed really early. But from Sunday before the challenge, where I got one short message from him, to today, I got a 2-paragraph message. I'm not talking 2 long paragraphs with a lot of information, just 2 short paragraphs in it saying, hey, I know we haven't really worked together the whole game, but, maybe we should talk about what we'll do at Final Four. No, Andy, we're not going to talk about what we're going to do at Final Four because you're not going to make the Final Four. Or if you do, then Jason's not going to make the Final Four because I'm sorry. I'm over it. I'm just over it. I don't want you to get dragged to the end and to be a GOAT because that is literally like what Indy is set up to do. He is set up to go to the end and get no votes and just be useless. And I'm bored by that, and I have no interest in that happening in the game. And I'm sorry to shit on Indy because I'm sure he's a good person, and I know he can be a good player because I've had actual conversations with him, but I feel like he's not putting the effort in, and I don't understand how at Final 6 you would not put the effort in if you actually want to win the game. I don't even care if I win the game and I'm putting the effort in, so buck up, Indy. But worse than Indy, I'm drinking water because I'm dying. So worse than Indy is Superman. I don't know who Superman is in real life, but he's gonna get his shit together. Because this guy never messaged me first the whole game until Mr. Miyagi got voted out and he was blindsided. And then he was super whiny. Oh my god, no one trusts me, wah, 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 wah. No, you were on the wrong side of a vote. If it happens. It doesn't mean nobody trusted you. It means you were on the wrong side of the vote. You were friends with the person we wanted to vote out, so we didn't tell you. Period. The end. Let's move on. Nothing. I message him. I message him once, twice. And days later, he responds and says, hey, Rocky, sorry, man. I read your message, and I just totally forgot to respond until now. I'm sorry, what? What? You read my message and you forgot to respond. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just voted out your ally. You're not in the numbers anymore, and you read my message and you forgot to respond. Why? Because you think that the vote's going to go a certain way, and you're comfortable with that? Because you're like, great, and Nico's going to go whoop-de-doo? No, that doesn't work for me either. So he's another person who has admitted to not putting any effort into our relationship multiple times. Admitted. And I send this guy messages because I send everybody messages. And I've sent everybody messages the whole game because I was not going to not take advantage of this open PMing situation. So here we are. This guy's telling me he doesn't put effort into our relationship. He's messaging me and saying things like, hey, we should look out for each other. Why? Why are we going to look out for each other when you don't even talk to me? When you have nothing to say to me? Last night, Freddie does his very Judd-like public confessional about how Superman sucks and we should all vote out Superman. And, I don't know, is Freddie Judd, a.k.a. Scott, a.k.a. Desmond, could he actually go to the end and, win the game here? Because I actually think he could, which is pretty impressive. But he does do a lot of things that are very Scott-like to me, and I feel like if I had to make a guess, it's got to be him. It's just got to be. The public drama and the fact that he is telling me he's going to cause more public drama tells me it just must be Scott. Superman is very hurt about this public drama and cries to me about it and says, sorry to vent to you, man, I just have nobody else to talk to. I'm not your therapist, Superman. We're trying to play a game here. You literally have not paid any attention to me this entire game. And now that your life is on the line, now you want to talk to me, you want to be friends, you want to cry to me because Freddie's mean to you. It's too late. It's too little, too late. And again, the same as the case of Indiana, I can tell that Superman could be a decent ally and he could have a conversation, but for some reason he chose not to have those conversations with me. And it's too late now. I can't have those conversations with you at this point in the game. I've already established things with other people who have actually put effort into me leading up to this point. And this is why, please mark this in your calendar, write this in your notes. Every time somebody plays a game, there is a rule that says do not take any player in this game for granted. And I don't understand why people don't pay attention to it. And don't get me wrong, I've been the person who's taken someone for granted before. When I was in Scotland, Kim, aka Lister, is a big example of that. That was somebody I totally took for granted. I didn't even care when I was going to vote him out. I was like, hey, I'm voting you out. Don't even care. I've totally fallen into that trap, and I've been that person. I've done it, but I've learned from it, and I don't do it anymore. And it is something you really need to learn from. Because if Superman or Indiana had put any effort into having a relationship with me earlier in this merge, anything, even just casual conversation, it doesn't matter. Any effort, I would be more willing to do something different, to keep them around longer, to vote out Jason this round instead of Superman, etc., so on and so forth. But because of the fact that they didn't put any effort in, I don't feel like I should reward their bad behavior by keeping them in the game. I feel like they should learn their lesson, and the lesson should be you're going to get voted out at 6 and 5, and you're not going to go to the end of the game as a GOAT or otherwise because you did not follow the rules of the game. I'm sorry, because that's fresh, and I'm not trying to be fresh. I'm sure they're both great people, and I'm sure they could both win the game. They just need to pay attention to things like this. And it's frustrating for me when I'm trying to play the game, and I have two people that I absolutely feel like I cannot work with at all at this point because they have done nothing to put any effort into anything. So tonight Superman's going to go home unless anything crazy happens, which it might because there's like a real mounting defense against Jason. People are not happy with him. Freddy's not happy with him. Darth is starting to be hesitant, which he never was before. He was always Jason Final 3, and now all of a sudden he's ready to make a move. I could certainly see there being a push to do that tonight, but I don't want to do it tonight. Jason has taken over Mike's role as like the cocky player who thinks nobody talks to anybody else and thinks he's in control and he can lie to everybody and get away with it, but we're all on to him. It's just been the cycle of the game. It goes from one player to the next, to the next, to the next. And when Jason goes out, it'll be either me or Darth who's in that position next, and we'll go out, and it'll continue in that manner. But at least Jason is playing the game, and I'd rather take him to Final 5 and see how the chips fall as opposed to taking him out now and keeping Superman in the game, because, I just can't. I don't care if he's a free vote for me and that he's going to do what I tell him to do, because I think he might. I actually think he might, and I honestly don't care. If I was Darth, though, I'd be really pushing on that. I don't care because I've already won the game, but I'm sure that other people in the game could probably use him. Alright, this confessional ended up being a little longer than anticipated, and I'm probably just repeating a bunch of crap I've already said. And I should probably take a nap right now because I'm dying of the plague, but that's the story. I'm excited for the challenge tonight. It seems like it's going to be really fun, and I look forward to making the Final 5 and listening to my good friend Heidi make a speech at Final 5 on Thursday, because yet again, I think that I'm good to go to get to that point in the game. My track record is fairly stellar. At this point anyway, I can't really complain. So that is it for now. I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you again soon, and all that jazz. Okay, goodbye.
41, 42, 43, 46, 47, push, push.